Hey everybody, whoa, 1 second. Let's do a quick background switch to our usual background. There we go. Hey everybody, welcome back to another ClasStars Quick Guide. Today I want to tell you a very interesting story that I heard and then show you how we arrange the seating layout in ClasStars, because what's really important, and we know that there's so many different ways of setting up a classroom these days, but you should be able to look at your room and look at the screen and it should reflect one another. Now, if you're obviously having no permanent seats, I know there's some teachers that don't have permanent seats, don't have same seats, and everybody does whatever they want every day. And there's obviously a lot of thought put into that as well. That's fine. You don't have to do it. But the key here is that you can do it. Not every behavior management software allows you to customize the seating chart, and we let you customize it however you want. And there's a quick way to switch back and forth between the way you have it set out or in alphabetical order. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. But just quickly before I get into that, I just heard a great story I saw it on social media from Rabbi Y.Y. Jacobson. Said this amazing story about teachers. And I just wanted to share it with this audience. I don't know how to exactly cut it out and share it that way. The story was that there was this person who had become a teacher, and he met his teacher after many, many years, when he was an adult already. And he introduces himself. He says, "Hi, do you remember me? I was your student." And the teacher said, "Yeah, oh, wow, that's great. I don't really remember you, but what are you doing these days?" And he said, "I'm a teacher." He said, "Really? Why are you a teacher?" He said, "Well, actually, you inspired me to be a teacher." He said, "Really? How did I inspire you to be a teacher?" He said, "You must remember the story. It was an amazing story." He said, "Really? No, tell me what the story was." He said, "There was a boy that came to class one day, and he had a brand new watch. And I really, really wanted the watch. So I took it, I stole it by recess. I took the watch, the kid had taken it off, he put it down, and I grabbed it. And the kid who owned the watch came to you and he said, my watch is missing. Someone stole it." And you got up and you locked the door to the room and you said, "Listen, would the person who stole the watch give it back?" And I was so embarrassed. I was so humiliated that I had done it. And of course, I didn't say anything. And you said, "You know what? I want all the boys here to line up against the wall. And I'm going to go through everybody's pockets until I find the watch." And I was so scared of what that was going to be like, because I knew I had the watch in my pocket. And then you said, "But everyone has to close their eyes, because I don't want anybody to know who stole the watch." And you went pocket to pocket, you went boy to boy, and until you got to my pocket and you saw that I had the watch, you took it out, you continued going to every other boy in the classroom. And then when you were done, you said, "Okay, everyone can open up his eyes." The boy returned the watch and everybody can go back to their seats. And I was so impressed. I was so inspired by that. Like, wow, you were so concerned for my dignity, even though I had done something wrong, but you were so concerned for my dignity. Look what kind of an impression you can have on a person. And I decided that I myself want to become a teacher so that I can do this for other people. And the teacher said, and he said, and I'm like, how could you not remember this? And the teacher said, "I'll tell you the truth. There's no way I would have known it was you, because I also closed my eyes." And that was like so amazing to think that a teacher has such a sensitivity that he himself didn't want to know who was the boy who had stolen the watch. He wasn't looking. He didn't want to pay attention. And it was such an inspiring story. I wanted to share it with you. But also, the idea is that we have this opportunity to inspire these kids, but also to recognize that the way we interact with them is going to have an impression on what we think about them. And I'm not talking, this story just totally blew me away when I heard it, which is why I'm sharing it with you. And if you like it, you can like this presentation and share it with your friends. It's worth it just for the story. And again, I attribute it to where I heard it from Rabbi Y.Y. Jacobson. You can check him out on your own. It has a lot of great stories. But the point is that the way we see our kids makes an impression on us. And that's why ClasStars is driven by positive feedback. If you see a kid doing something wrong and you're marking them for misbehavior, that's going to impress upon you that's going to influence your impression of the kid. So it's only catching them being good and having many more positive interactions with them than negative interactions with them that's going to keep you balanced and liking every kid. If everything you see about a kid is going to be negative, it creates confirmation bias. It starts to play with our heads. And it's not, we're not immune to this. It's basic human nature to notice these things. And that's why I don't believe in the point system straight up. Of course, there's a place for a point system. I'm not saying I never believe in a point system. Some kids need that extra incentive, that extra motivation. But very often, it's not the point system that's necessary. And not only that, but the kids that need this, the point system doesn't even work for them. So if you don't believe in the system, if I'm a kid in your class and I think you're only noticing the bad things I do, I'm not even bothering with the point system, because you're not going to notice when I earn points. You're only going to notice when I lose points. And that's a common theme that I hear from a lot of kids. So that's the introduction that I just wanted to give. I just heard the story yesterday and I wanted to share it with you. And now let's jump into ClasStars and how to arrange the seats. So again, you sign in, you download the app from any app store. Again, we're looking at it on Windows, and everything is meant to be done with your finger, but we're going to use the mouse so that you can see what I'm doing. Here you have your demo class. Okay, you tap on the demo and it brings all the students into the class. And there are two places where you can arrange the seats. You can do it straight from here. Okay, here you have this, this menu here for the dashboard, and we're going to spend another time. We've touched upon some of the dashboard, but there's a lot more in the dashboard that we haven't gone through, and we'll go through that too. But I just want to mention this, how to arrange the classes. You slide this down. Okay, you slide this down. Okay, see there's more items here than fit here. So we have this little slider, and you hit on the arrange layout button. Okay, this brings you to the arrange layout page. And here, basically, if you want to switch kids, you tap on one kid, that will highlight the kid, and you then highlight the space where you want to switch them to. And just like that, you move the kids around. So you can move Franklin with Davy, switch Franklin with Davy. You can switch Bobby with Darwin. Now, we're dealing here with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 4 grid. I can make it any shape by hitting on the plus sign. Opens up another row in the back of the room. If I hit this plus sign, it opens up a column here on the right side of the room. And then I can move Darwin here. And I can totally rearrange. I can have them working in groups of 4 like this. I can move Blake over here. I can set it up social distance style where I don't have kids next to each other. There was one teacher that did that in one of the groups. Somebody set it up for social distancing. You can set it up in any shape. You can keep adding rows and columns. The more times you hit the plus, the more columns and rows, and everything will automatically be sized and shaped. And when you leave this, when you hit end arrange, you have the opportunity to either save your changes, or I can cancel and just go back to what I had before. But if I hit save the changes, you'll notice, hang on over here, what happens when I cancel here, right? You see these 2 columns are empty. When I save the changes, all of the empty columns, if I hit cancel, it just brings me back here. But if I hit arrange layout, it brings me back here. So let's open up another row, and let's take out some kids here, right? I want to have social distancing in this row. Again, you'll set it up according to what makes sense. If you make it too small, it starts to get really small, and that's why we tell everybody that this is definitely not going to work on a phone. This is meant for a tablet. But if I save this, hit end arrange, and then I save it, and now you're going to see that I'm going to come back to the screen, come back to the dashboard, and this is going to be now with a brand new layout. See that? With an empty row in the middle. Now I can hit the A to Z order button here. The A to Z order button basically sorts them out just in a grid in alphabetical order. And now you see it's Rafi Amar, Darwin Bryce, Kenner Chad, Marissa Clarity, so on and so forth. And now that button that says A to Z order says row column order. And that's the layout and the rows and columns that I set up. Again, you can set it up in any shape. You can set them in a semicircle, in an L, in boxes, however you want. Knock yourself out, set them up however you want. So that's the first way to do it. And this is before you go into class, obviously, you're going to be doing it this way. The other way to do it is from the class session itself. So if you start a session, right, let's go into class. Start a session again. Remember, the first thing that we do when we go into class is take attendance. So we're going to do that. And today, here we are in the order that I set. Let's take attendance. Bonnie's absent. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, let's go to class. Now, here I have this little menu bar, and I can go to A to Z order, just like I did over there. And that's going to flip everybody around right here, back into Rafi Amar, Darwin, Bryce, Kenner, Chadmer, Clarity, like we had before. And I can hit the Arrange Layout button, which is really disabled when I'm in alphabetical order because we're not concerned with the layout. But when I'm in row column order now, I can hit the Arrange Layout button, and it brings me back to that very same screen that I had before. I can move the kids back however I want, exactly how I did before. Let's put it back to the neat row column order. Hit End Arrange button, just like I did before. Save it, just like I did before. And boom, I'm right back in class, just like I was before, with the same, everything sized, everything spread out evenly throughout the room. So those are the two ways that I can arrange the layout. Of course, don't forget to close your class, because if you don't have the ending of the class, it skews the data based on the times of people leaving, of different engagement metrics that we're looking at. So you always have to make sure that when you're done, you close the class. And that is how you arrange your seats in ClasStars. Again, two places, either from the demo, either from the dashboard or from the class itself. Thanks so much. See you guys next time. We'll do another one, hopefully tomorrow. Have a great day.